That is why you will find there was life upon that planet. It was well within the zone of life within your solar system, being the third and fourth planets. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Also, that is why we will make sure that does not happen again. But I will tell you that within 4 of your years ago, your mass consciousness together decided that that would not happen. In other words, while we would not allow that to happen, you have already taken the responsibility out of our hands. I will say thank you very much.
Was that reflected directly in the presidential election of '80 in this country? That kind of new awareness and self-validation and that came about with Reagan's election?
You will find that your idea, in a sense, but not as you think it, your idea of what you're trying to be, your government, in a sense, have been created by you. Much in the same way that we spoke of that individual creating the consciousness that told him to go and do these things because you have not accepted your own responsibility for your own fear. And so you create the idea of organizations to handle that fear for you so you will not have to deal with it. Realize that once you create an organization based on fear, it will try to keep itself alive as any consciousness will, and if it is created by fear, what will it have to create to live?
Fear.
Take back your fear. Be responsible for all of your emotions, and you will not need them. Question.
Was that the role of Hitler for Europe?
To a degree. Although there was much in the way being acted out again in terms of knowing that fear that a certain idea will occur is the same thing as believing that it will, and in believing that it will be. Do you follow me?
Yes.
Question.
What is your definition of responsibility?
Responsibility is complete freedom of choice.
Wow.
Knowing that you are totally responsible for every idea within your reality means you can choose any idea you wish. On your world, many people view the idea of responsibility as blame, as a trap, as a prison. Realize responsibility is the key, at the same time, to that prison. You may unlock any door you wish by being totally responsible for everything within that prison. You may open the door and find out that you are also totally responsible for everything outside the prison as well. Question.
I have interest in levels of awareness. We've talked about you being like 300 years ahead and so on. What I've noticed is we tend to look at each other as having different levels of awareness, and
yes,
and we get in trouble sometimes with
yes.
that.
Each and every one of you has chosen, once again, a certain path for yourselves, but each and every one of you performs, creates, realizes that path equally with every other path, no matter what that path consists of. The energy is the same. The creative force is the same. And so each awareness, in a sense, in an overall idea, is the same. Even though views within each path may not be. As I said, you are always in control, even when you create a situation in which you feel out of control. Does not mean you are less aware than the one who knows they are in control. Simply means you are creating different realities with the same amount of control. You are all equal. All equal. Question.
In 1980, what was circumvented? There was something in 1980 that the mass consciousness circumvented so you didn't have to interfere.
In other words, you no longer felt the need to express the idea of nuclear war.
Was there an actual event that we would know that was marked in time?
No.
Good.
It was a mass decision. You will now see events physically which will represent that decision.
Self-truth.
Yes?
I just wanted to make a comment that as a young child, I felt very much like all the world was a stage and I was just another player and the scenery was just changing, and every once in a while the players changed, and that just kind of reaffirms
Yes.
that viewpoint. I had that so vividly as a child all the time.
You may also realize that there is only one constant in the universe: change.
I understand.
Thank you. Question?
I have a question.
All right.
How do you define universe when you say that?
For us, again, I use your terminology. Multiverse is more apropos for our recognition of all that is. There are many, many universes within all that is. The term all that is more, in a sense, according to our perception of ourselves. Question.
Yes. You defined for your civilization as living light, and you also said that about our civilization.
That is our term for ourselves.
Could you elaborate?
Fifani translates out as living light. We simply view every being, every consciousness within the physical universe as a congealing of vibrational energy, electromagnetic per se in nature. In other words, living light. You are energy beings. Matter is energy. You know this. Light, you will come to understand in your civilization, will have a great many abilities which you will be able to make use of. Light is the motive power and the only source of power for our spacecraft. Question.
Yes, I have a question. Then are you familiar, you were probably familiar with radionics on this planet. Are you?
To a degree, you'll find that the more you understand the idea of tonality and vibrational frequency, the more you will understand that light and sound will be combined in almost every field, including medicine, including construction, including space travel. Everything can utilize in some way, shape, or form the idea of vibration in light and sound. Do you follow me?
Yes, these different frequencies apparently have different qualities.
Yes.
And abilities and
Yes.
whatever. I see.
Question.
Daryl, Bashar, what is this frequency that most people hear ringing in their ears? High frequency sound.
You will find it will be certain energy vibrations which will have physical translation within what you term to be your nerve network within certain portions of your brain, of your physical brain. These will simply resound through certain portions of your auditory system